Things we hold too close, we cannot see. So I want to let all that I hold sacred go free. Oh, I know
Hello, you family. I'm going to sing a song with you called Shine on Me. It's an amazing spiritual that anybody can sing. And in these days when the things that we're dealing with, the feeling separate and all of that, and things seem so hard, this is one of those songs that you just throw your head back, put it in your medicine kit. All you have to do is ask. And here's how it goes. Shine on me, oh shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, oh shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Lift me up, oh, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, lift me up, yes, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, hold me close, yes, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse hold me close, yes, hold me close, oh, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse, please hold me close. Oh, shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, oh, shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. All you have to do is just ask. The light is always there. Always. Always. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, folks. How you doing? Is the world changing for you a little or no? You feeling better or worse about stuff? It'd be great to hear from you. It'd be great to see you, although we are still watching the world and trying to behave responsibly. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. This is our Sunday morning worship. We use the word worship in its Old English roots of trying to elevate and contemplate things that matter. So we are a church that is built on covenant, not creed. We organize around the things that we covenant or promise with one another to try to stand for and try to live and walk out in the world rather than the things that we believe. Ideologies, perhaps. Anyway, you're always welcome here, whoever you are, whatever your age and race and origin and orientation and background and status and ability and identity. If you care to be here with us, you are welcome. I would like to invite our Director of Religious Lifespan Religious Education to share with us some announcements and stuff this morning.
Thank you so much, Reverend Barbara, and thanks everybody for being here this morning. We really appreciate it. Just a few announcements. We had planned to do an outdoor children's religious education, a summer project, an art activity today. The presenter and her grandson are not feeling well, and actually I was a little under the weather yesterday. I do feel better today, but just out of an abundance of caution, we are postponing, and we will let you know when that's going to happen and when other activities will happen. I do want to let you know that North Louisiana Interfaith, or Together Louisiana, our statewide organization that Interfaith is a part of, will be meeting with Governor John Bel Edwards on this Wednesday at 1 p.m. And there's a link to register for that meeting. It will be on Zoom, and there's a link to register that went out in your email yesterday. And I'm betting it may magically appear in the chat at some point before the end of our service today. So if you haven't already, and I know 1 in the afternoon is not the easiest time if you are working during the day, and so we do acknowledge that. And if you can't make it, I know it will be recorded and you'll be able to access it later. But if you can make it by any chance on Wednesday at 1, please join us. We're going to work on strengthening the relationship we have with the governor, and also figuring out how we can move forward on some of our priorities, particularly with respect to the environment, to criminal justice reform, and voting rights. And so, but we're very pleased with some significant victories this week as far as letting a number of the governor's vetoes stand, including the anti-trans bill, that was vetoed, and the veto did stand, and so we are very thankful for that. Our giveaway the plate for One More Sunday is still Shreveport Green. It is an environmental organization working to create a more sustainable environment here in Shreveport. So if you want to contribute, you can do so online, and I know there will be a magical link for that. And you can select collection plate as opposed to pledge, and the collection plate money will go to Shreveport Green. Another way is just to send a check to the church, which that address I'm sure will also appear, but just send a check to the church. And if you want to put your pledge and your contribution to Shreveport Green on the same check, just write in the memo line how much you would like to go to each. And our wonderful bookkeeper, Jan, will take care of all that. She is great that way. And I think that may be all I have for today. Don't forget that Larry Andros does offer a meditation every Saturday morning, and that is still on Zoom. And so there's contact information to get in touch with him to get that link for Saturday mornings. You know from watching these services how wonderful he is. Well, his teachings are incredible too. It's just, it's a really wonderful thing. And I believe that really is all I have. So I will turn it back to Reverend Barbara.
Thanks, Ms. Susan. So, time to let yourself relax a bit. Take a few deep breaths. And I always say, let your shoulders drop away from your ears. We kind of tighten up through the week. And it's a good time to try to let your body relax and your mind relax a bit. At the same time, we have to bring our ability to take what we can use and leave what we can't, because everything I say may not share your opinions, and vice versa. It's what we call a free pulpit. So let's see. Spirit of life and love, grace and mercy, source of all things, which changes us as we cannot change ourselves. We gather this morning as a covenanted community of spiritual seekers coming together in a rainbow of diversity, united by our conviction that the wounds of this world can be healed through compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, and courage. And by healing, we do not mean restored to some mythical original purity, but brought to a new place with greater wisdom, wholeness, and liberation than could have been envisioned before. This community is on a journey. And yet, in truth, we know that each one of us is on a journey, and all our journeys place us before forks in the road. These places ask us to make choices, saying yes to some things, saying no to others, grieving in what we must leave behind, rejoicing in the blessings, often unexpected, that come our way. In these journeys, some will choose to walk with us, and some will choose another path. It is our calling to accept these things as a testament to our strength and our fragility, and to trust in the process, even as we fear the unknown. The journey asks us to keep walking. Dag Hammarskjöld wrote, I am being driven forward into an unknown land. The path grows steeper, the air colder and sharper. A wind from an unknown goal stirs the strings of expectation. Still the question, shall I ever get there? There where life resounds a clear, pure note in the silence. What if everything went according to plan? At first, we might accomplish more of what we think we need to accomplish, and it may seem less stressful at first, being able to anticipate what happens next. But after a certain amount of time, and that amount would vary person to person, the once comfortable predictability would become less comfortable and, well, boring. If we always know what happens next and we lose the joy of surprise, serendipitous experiences, and the excitement that comes from anticipating the unknown. Friends, let us gather with open, curious hearts to explore the unpredictable, learn from its wisdom, and embrace its beauty. We have a group to lead our chalice lighting this morning, one at a time.
Thank you, Reverend Barbara, and I want to thank all of our friends who have helped us with the chalice lighting, and they're going to help us some more to learn the new chalice lighting. So here we go. We light this chalice, celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the Church of the Open Mind. This is the Church of the Helping Hands. This is the Church of the Loving Heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you very much. We light this flame to ignite the sacred power of justice. We light this flame so that it may be a beacon of hope. In moments of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and the unknown, we light this flame and are emboldened by its blaze. Knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people is rooted in the diverse ways we answer the call to love. We kindle a flame we trust will lead us forward as we travel in unknown lands, where the question, shall I ever get there, resounds. That clear, pure note in every silence. I'd like to ask our IT person, or one of our IT persons, Brittany Turner, to share the unison affirmation with us this morning.
Good morning. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we
Good morning again. I want to tell you a story this morning that I know you have almost undoubtedly heard before, and if we were in the sanctuary with the children, they could pretty much tell it for me. But I have a little bit different perspective on the story this morning, so I just want to share it with you. It's the story of the 6 blind men and the elephant. So there were 6 blind men who had heard many stories about elephants and wanted to experience the presence of this massive animal themselves. And when they heard that an elephant merchant was in their town, they quickly made their way to his encampment and asked the merchant to lead them to one of the elephants. Well, the first man put his hand on the elephant's massive side and said, "An elephant is very much like a wall." And the second man put his hand on one of the tusks, and after he said, "Ouch," he said, "Excuse me, gentlemen, but it's obvious to me that an elephant is hard and smooth and sharp like a spear." Well, the third man put his hand on the trunk, which was pretty annoying to the elephant, and the elephant squirmed and tried to move it away. And the man says, "Clearly, elephant is soft and rough, and it slithers like a snake." And the fourth man heard all of these things as he wrapped his arms around one of the elephant's legs, and he said, "Are you all nuts? Clearly, the elephant is like a tree." Well, the fifth man was just stunned by all of this because he was stroking the elephant's large ears, and he said, "Is it possible you are all blinder than I am? An elephant is like a fan." And the sixth man, holding onto the elephant's swinging tail, laughed at all of them and said, "Honestly, it's obvious that the elephant is like a rope." And so they all began to argue, very much in the same way that people will often argue about God, having had only one narrow point of view about something bigger than their imaginings, which none of them has ever really seen. And it can also apply to pretty much people arguing about anything when all they have is one perspective. Maybe they're arguing about racism or sexism or classism, or maybe, the best way to give people health care or whatever. If they've only seen the one perspective, the one side of the elephant, that's what they know. And so in a lot of versions of the story, this is where it ends. But what if we end the story a little differently? What could they do instead of just arguing about the elephant? What if 6 blind men decide to talk to each other? What if, instead of being ready to snap back at their friends and tell them how wrong they are, the blind men listen to each other describe the elephant, and instead of immediately denying each other's experience that they have not had, let's say, for instance, the man at the tail end reaches out to his friend by the elephant's side and said, "What you're describing is so different. Let me come over to where you are for a second." And what if he then reaches out for his friend's hand and lets his friend guide him to come over and stand close to him and feel the elephant's side? And when he does that, he said, "Why, yeah, I can understand now why you believe an elephant is like a wall. From here, it really is. Now you come with me to where I was standing before," and he leads his friend back to the tail. And the friend now says, "Why, I think I understand now why you thought an elephant is like a rope. From here, it really kind of is." So they stay curious, and they decide to listen to each other, and they decide to all kind of walk around and see where the others have been. And sometimes maybe they're surprised to learn that none of them were exactly wrong, maybe that all of them were right in some way. But if none of them had exactly the same view of the elephant, then none of them alone had a complete view of the truth. And maybe each one of them would decide to return to his own place around the elephant, because that was still for them the best representation of elephantness. But maybe not. Maybe particularly that guy at the tail might decide, this is not the best perspective after all, and maybe I could learn, from these other people. So when you're thinking about elephants or anything, stay curious. Stay curious, ask questions, find out how someone else came to their point of view, and try to get the whole story. Thanks a lot.
Good morning. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position. Let your body be balanced. Let your spine be straight. Begin with a deep and comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space. And imagine breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. Today, in this moment of sacred presence, reflect. As I pause upon my ever unfolding path, I find that I have grown weary. Understanding the wisdom of letting go, I have released one pattern tightly held, and find now a dozen more I had not seen. I climb one mountain, eager for the vision, and as I reach its peak, I find an entire range of mountains unexplored. I learn one thing, and it opens doors to mysteries I had not known were there. I light one fire to dispel a shadow on my path, and a multitude of shadows now dance around me. Difficulties and challenges seem to multiply. Have I failed? Is there no end? Where and how shall I find peace? In this sacred moment, I look beyond appearances and listen deep within. I go to that place beyond beginnings and endings, beyond right and wrong. The path I walk is far more than countless tasks to finish and milestones to reach. The path I walk is a path with heart, and I am called to open wide my heart, to let in life as it now appears. I will bring mindfulness and care to all its changing details. I will bring joy to its transient beauty. I will bring justice where I see struggle, and healing to all who suffer. I know I do not travel on this path alone. I walk hand in hand with beloved community. Together, we craft unexpected challenges into the building blocks of a world more beautiful. I travel the path of the awakening heart. My heart awakens by opening beyond the known. My heart awakens by giving itself away. In this sacred moment, I center in my breath. Breathing in, I touch the mystery. Breathing out, I embrace the step that now appears.
too close, we cannot see. So I want to let all that I hold sacred go free. Often, well, always before the service, we play music for 15 minutes. And I know that many of you, when you check into the service, may fast forward through the music or, just try to join whichever pieces of the service you enjoy most. But they're usually topical things in that prelude music, in that 15 minutes, and I don't usually repeat them. This particular song talks about things we hold too close. Just for a moment, look at the device on which you are viewing this service. Kind of take it in. Put your face right up to it. Can you see the device as clearly or as fully as you did from a distance? Holding it that close to you, how well do you see the things around you, around that device, or behind it? In some all too real ways, I think that's the same thing that happens with our ideas and perspectives, positions, conclusions that become very comfortable and that may have been tried and true and held for a very long time, maybe months, maybe years, maybe decades, maybe a lifetime. I recognize that a good many of you have work lives and family lives, or both, that demand just about every bit of your time. Consequently, if you can find time to sit with a book or listen to one, the materials that you choose may be strictly for entertainment, relaxation, or escape. That's not hard to understand. But with that acknowledgement, I would like to again mention a couple of the books we have read as a community in the All Souls adult religious education class. Waking Up White and Finding Myself in the Story of Race by Debbie Irving. White Fragility, Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism by Robin DiAngelo. Each of these books over and over again brought me to question things I had held in some consistent perspective in my own life, in my own mind, particularly about myself and the way I interact with the world around me, the way I understand and see things, things I had not felt the need to question or re-examine for quite some time. Those very things stood in the way of my being a good and effective ally for any and all of those who have been marginalized or othered by a system I grew up benefiting from. There's a quote from Matthew Johnson, who's one of the regional leaders in the Unitarian Universalist Association. And he said, "We're the faith of reason and science and dignity." There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that too many of us have been taught by culture that what's smart looks like is white, male, and middle class. We've been taught that credibility and authority are white. We've been taught that what science looks like is a white man in a white shirt and a buzz cut, not Katherine Johnson or Dorothy Vaughan, the NASA scientists without whom John Glenn would not have lifted off, let alone returned to Earth safely. We need to unhook our assumptions of what smart looks like, of what quality music sounds like, of what reason means. We need to get messy. We need to question our assumptions. Things we know too well get in our way, so I want to question my own answers every day. Oh, I know the whole mystery can't fit into one mere mind, so I'm learning how to empty out and take it one piece at a time. At home, my home I'm talking about here, there's a spot in the ceiling of the garage that water has been leaking through for some time. Consequently, that part of the ceiling has been hanging open so that one could easily see where the water was coming from and the path it flowed on. I first asked repair people to address it 2 years ago. Between previous obligations and COVID putting things on hold, the crew was only available to start the repair work this week. The contractor and I assessed the situation and drew some estimates and ideas about the time and materials needed for the repair. I've been looking at this hole, sometimes up close, for a long time. So this week the work began, and as you may be guessing, the further we got into it, the more damage we found. Any estimates, conclusions, or assumptions we had made were wrong, simply because of what we could not see or what had not yet been opened back up for current, thorough examination. We can only correct the problems we know about. Only the problems we recognize can be remedied. Only what we know. Hopefully, we are awakening to the fact that those who consider themselves liberal have been a considerable stumbling block to the very issues about which we care the most, specifically because we don't think we're the problem. None of us thinks they, he, she is the problem. We think we have studied all this stuff. We think we know what we need to know in order to contribute to the solution. And that's all others, that it's all others who stand in the way of progress. For these reasons, we are among the hardest to reach and some of the more slowly educated. The books we've been reading in adult religious education point that out pretty clearly. If you haven't had the time to read them, I understand. That, however, does not mean The things that you have always known about yourself don't need to be re-examined. Only what we know is wrong can we responsibly fix. Only what we know needs eliminating or correcting or needs our attention, care, compassion, input, energy, heart, creativity, insight, presence, effort, resources, openness, will we endeavor to improve. We can't fix what we don't know is broken. And there may well be a lot that has altered in the unseen parts of our own convictions. The unexamined ideas and assumptions that we have held sacrosanct. As Heraclitus noted 2,500 years ago, the only thing that is constant is change. The longer I'm alive, the more I know that I don't know. And believe it or not, I am quite grateful for that. Though not always grateful for how I come to recognize some of what I don't know. Sometimes we have to be big enough to let others help us see what we may not otherwise. I think that's one of the biggest gifts we can bring to one another in community. It can be a tough one. It takes a good bit of trust, and we don't build trust unless we're working together and have time with one another. Proximity is something Miss Susan was talking about this morning in our adult ed class that has come up before in some of the work that those people in the class have been doing. There have certainly been ample examples over the last few years of people who cannot see what they will not see and are incapable of learning from their mistakes, particularly because they will not acknowledge their own failures. We're not like that. We believe that questions hold answers. We believe that things change. We know that nothing can remain stagnant and still without withering, losing its light, losing its truth. I want to invite us to find some way to begin re-investigating the things that we hold sacred. It's a worthwhile journey. It holds all kinds of light and gifts and better makes us able to serve all of the human need that we call our prayer. To live into the doctrine of love. May it be so.
One,
Two, three, four.
There's no way to tell from here what only time makes clear, elements far and near in play, opening up the wounds so deep. Lessons from free but never cheap. All that we have is now, and if we wake somehow, as all the noise and debris, we'll find the picture more complete. Under the wonders we repeat. Oh, I'm getting weary and my spirit gets low. Sometimes I admit I let the light go. I've got to do something to fill my soul back up. Get the dark emptied out and find my way back to love. Let nobody take your cool compassion's the guiding rule, and forget the guiding rule we share. The future will scratch out what you'll see. I'm holding the possibility with care. Oh, I'm getting weary and my spirit goes low. Sometimes I confess I let the light go. I'm here on a mission to fill my soul back up. Get the dark empty out and find my way back to love. Nobody can take my place, lifting the human race over divisions, wasted time. I'll do all I can to be what mercy asks of me, and I'll carry home for all I see. I'm holding possibility.
We receive fragments of holiness, glimpses of eternity, brief moments of insight. Let us gather them up for the precious gifts that they are, and renewed by their grace, move boldly into the unknown. Gathering them up, I think, is like the story of the blind men coming together. If you are who you were, and if any person next to you or close to you is who they were, if none of us has changed since the day we first arrived here, then we've failed. The purpose of this community, of any church temple, zendo, mosque is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown in ourselves, in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may you go forth from here this morning, not who you were, but who you can be, who you could be. May we find the courage to revel in the experience of the mystery. May we approach the unknown with excitement, even if we can only muster a tiny bit. May we celebrate the curiosity that leads to searching, soul searching. May we meet ourselves along the way and love us unapologetically until we meet together again. Carry the light of hope and strength and curiosity with you. Ashe, amen. So be it. Blessed be.